Noah, pass the duct tape. Kate, can you grab the paintbrushes? Kellen, where on earth is the multi-tool? Caden, can you turn up the speaker? It's a little quiet. Nathaniel, can you paste the squishy moss on the tree? And Madison, can you open the window? Because this spray paint smells nasty. These are some of the sights, sounds, and smells of Odyssey of the Mind. Odyssey of the Mind was founded in 1970 by Dr. Sam Minkless. He taught an industrial design class at Rowan University in New Jersey. He challenged his students by giving them unique problems to solve, like building a mechanical pie thrower or a vehicle without wheels. Odyssey of the Mind is present in over 20 countries, so it is a worldwide event. Odyssey of the Mind has 3 components. First is the skit. There are 5 different problems that you can choose from. You can building a vehicle, using technical skills, incorporating music and painting, constructing a balsa wood structure, and engaging the audience with humor. Originality, creativity, effectiveness, and humor is the game. You must use all of these to try and get as many points as possible. You have 8 minutes to do your actual skit and only $145 for everything that's on your stage. That's why recycled and creative materials is so important to use, because they're free. Adults cannot help with anything. They can't help write the script. They can only drive you to and from places, to and from Lowe's, which we do a lot, and just be there and make sure that we don't cut off our fingers. We've had several very close calls. Everything is done by the students, from writing the script, building the props, and learning their script. Style is another part. There are sets, costumes, and props that you must do all yourself. Teams strive to be as creative as possible because that's how you get the most points. For sets, rather than using paper bags to do a tree base, instead pull off the painfully sharp umbos from pine cones. Even though it takes a lot longer, you'll get more creativity points. They are prickly and sharp, and man do they hurt. We had to use gloves and very big pliers to try and pry them all off. Also, for costumes, you must be creative. Rather than painting something yellow, cover it in yellow straws instead. Unwrapping, cutting, gluing, and reinforcing the straws may take a lot longer, but the points are in there. Props is another place where you also need to use creativity. This year we made armor for one of our characters to wear. We started out by collecting over 600 cans from school, church, and just people around the neighborhood. We drank a lot of cheer wine and yoo-hoo. Then we built a forge that goes up to 1,200 degrees, which is the melting point of aluminum. Then we dropped each individual can and let it melt. Then we took out all the impurities that are which is called dross, which is the paint, the film, all the bad stuff that's inside the cans. The bubbling crucible was scorching, but you could burn your hand very easily. You had to wear big gloves every time that you tried to put one in. Once it was melted, we poured it into muffin tins to create ingots. Once the ingots were cooled, we dropped it back into the crucible and let them melt again. Then we poured it into a mold made of wood, sand, and baby powder. Then we pulled this out. It was all in different pieces. We pulled it out and put it all together. That's why creativity is a key element. Then there's spontaneous, which is another very hard part of Odyssey. You walk into a room with 2 to 5 judges, and they'll tell you if it is a verbal, hands-on, or hands-on verbal. Then you pick 5 teammates that are going to compete. Our team always chooses ahead of time who's going to be on which team, but some teams just wing it. Verbal is one of my favorites. An example of a verbal problem is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? A common response would be, I would want to fly so I could get to school on time. A creative response would be, zap, this may be shocking, but I would have the power of electricity. Both great power comes a pricey electrical bill. Hands-on is another type. An example of this is to build a bridge that goes across a piece of paper. but it has to be at a slant. And hold 5 golf balls. You must find the loophole and be as creative as possible. The final type is hands-on verbal. You must use aluminum. An example of this is to use aluminum foil to create vehicles and then tell a story about them. Odyssey of the Mind helps grow confidence and creativity. It helps grow friendships between teammates and fellow owners. Odyssey is a truly eye-opening event that teaches you how to be a sore loser and a happy winner. This has been a story about Odyssey of the Mind.